What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Exanon here. Hope you guys are having a good day. We're back with another video. Before I get into not financial advice by any means, but yeah, I just want to touch on what's going on with the Stellar network, and there's been some statements with Lobster Wallet having stocks and stuff like that. There is stocks on there, but it's not what people think or what's there are people saying stuff and it doesn't happen to go that way, right? Whatever website domains they're giving you, like Indus and stuff like that, those are not actual stocks, right? And what's being pushed out there, right? So without further ado, let's get straight into this document coming out of Securities and SEC from Washington DC, straight from the House, right? There's lawyers, you can see there's a Squires, Timothy A. Spangler and Brendan P. Carroll Squire. These one is from Washington DC, the other is from Costa Mesa, California. So you have, and I think this California part, where that plays into right. So yeah, there's some stuff that's going on with Stellar Network. And now, before I get into this document, there's something I need to explain what this document associates to. So it comes from Frankel Templeton, right? That's where we looked into, and we'll get into what Frankel Templeton is. Shout out to Sam Coin1 on Twitter. I will drop his Twitter handle in the description. He shared about Frankel Templeton and the stocks and securities that they have on the Stellar network and how to go about purchasing the stocks. He was also at Davos this week, so shout out to him for sharing this information. And let's get into it. What Frankel Templeton is first, people that don't know. Franklin Resources Inc. is an American multinational holding company. Together with subsidiaries is referred to as Frankel Templeton. It is a global investment firm founded in New York City in 1947, right? So it's an investment firm. They deal with stocks and all of those kind of things. You see some people and some other partners that they have, right? And let's just take a look into their website and what they do. Individual investor, right? So if you invest in stocks and stuff like that through their firm and financial professionals stuff, right? So yeah, now we're gonna get into this document since I've explained what Frankel Templeton is, right? So okay, that's not the one. This is the one. Yeah, I'm gonna get into that one as well after this. You can see some special numbers: 333, 811, 23, right? So we have some interesting numbers here. You can also traverse the 74714. If you know what I'm talking about, some excellent people will know, some XRP people will know what I mean by those numbers, right? So they go into registration statement under the Securities Act of 1933. They have some people here, Franklin Temple Trust, where these places are, right? So yeah, so now we're going to get into it and gotta read this red writing first because things changed, right? The information in this prospectus is not complete and may be changed, right? So they're still undergoing some stuff, right? By this, we may not sell the securities until the registration registration statement filed with the Securities and Exchange Commission is effective. This prospectus is not an offer to sell the securities, as in not a soliciting an offer to buy the securities in any state where the offer or sale is not permitted. A preliminary prospectus dated September 2019. Okay, here this was, no, what is it? In 3 years ago, right? So this was 3 years ago. I'm pretty sure that they've done this now, and I'll show you what's going on, why it's really going here, right? So you all know who the SEC is. The SEC is famous, I would say, for what they're doing in the crypto space at the moment. Everyone knows who the SEC is. I think I don't need to go into that one so much. If there's new people watching this, yeah, that's the Security Exchange Commission for the United States. For people who don't know, right? But we know what they're up to and stuff. Let me explain some stuff. What's the goal? To provide investors with a higher level of current income as consistent with the preservation of shareholders' capital and liquidity. The fund also tries to maintain a stable $1 share price. Good stocks does, right? So, right, and then they have some crazy stuff. You can pause this and look at this. Is a long document, right? Where we'll just go through some stuff. Principal investment strategies. Fund invests at least 99.5% of its total assets in government securities, cash, and repurchase agreements collateralized fully by government securities or cash for purposes of these policies. Yeah, when I get into the government stuff and talking about stocks, there are Congress members involved in the Stellar network, and they're holding XLM and stuff like that. I think the two people that I'm aware of is Cynthia Lumens and Mitch McConnell. Those two people, there have been some stuff that I have come out to certain Congress members pertaining to holding stocks and stuff like that in XLM, right? So, right, let's get into collateralized fully by the government securities. For purposes of government securities means any securities issued or guaranteed as to principal or interest by the United States or by person controlled or supervised by and acting as an instrument of the government of the United States pursuant to authority granted by the Congress of the United States or any certificate of deposit for any foregoing. The fund intends to be a government money market fund. You know what the US government is doing? They've been giving money over to Ukraine, and Ukraine was the first country, let's say, to adopt Stellar XLM, right? There's articles out there. I'm not going to go into that one today, and also Daniel Dixon has met Zelensky, right? So I'm not going to go too much into that. And then this past week, still was at Davos, and everything governments fall under, World Economic Forum and stuff like that. So yeah, we're gonna see what's really on here. And this was also interesting as well. We'll cut to some of the stuff. The fund uses the amortized cost method of valuation to maintain a stable 1% share price and does not currently intend to impose liquidity fees or redemption gates on fund redemptions. Please note, however, that the board trustees reserves the ability to the subject of fund liquidity fee and a redemption gate in the future after providing prior notice to shareholders. The government agency or instrumental issuers have different levels of credit support. US government-sponsored entities such as Federal National Mortgage Association, Fannie Mae, Federal Home Loan Mortgage, Freddie Mac, right? But these securities are neither issued nor guaranteed by the US government, although the US government has provided financial support to Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, and certain other GSEs. No assurance can be given that the US government will continue to do so, right? So, there's something coming. They can't continue to give funds because they're going to do a crash and bring in a new financial system, right? So we see that happening. It's like happening fast and slow at the same time. That it's like so unexplainable to explain that. Where it's like you're seeing all this news, but there's still these delays. and the more delays, the more painful it's going to get when it happens, right? So yeah, just to eye on that. And then they do talk about blockchain-based shares, no investment in cryptocurrencies. And so, although the funds transfer agents will maintain the official record of share ownership in book entry form, so Painting Franklin Templeton, right, is stating this. There's going to be stocks on a blockchain as record share ownership in book entry, right, of the fund shares that will be recorded. Right, this is the fun part. The fund shares will be recorded on the Stellar network. Right, so this Templeton, Franklin Templeton, have nothing to do with QSI, Indus, or whatever. That's what else is out there. I don't know of that I've seen. Uh, there's a few others, but those are the two that I see a lot of. Right, so I see that being you know shared a lot. So this has nothing to do with this. This is coming from the governments stating where they are. And we're going to get into what is actually happening with Templeton, right? And you will see for yourself. Uh, the ledger that is secured using cryptography, referred to as blockchain. A blockchain contains a digital record of a ledger of transaction data that is permanently recorded in files called blocks. Blockchain networks are based upon software source code that establishes and governs their respective cryptographic system for verifying transactions. The fund will not invest in any cryptocurrency referred to as, among other things, virtual currencies, but they are saying that whatever the investments are in the stocks and whatever they're involved in is going to be on the Stellar network, right? And there's more to cover that stuff, and then there's just some you can pause and check out stuff here as well. Excuse me, guys. I just want to see if they do mention anything referred to as nodes and network validators. Let's run through this as quickly, right? Blockchain-based shares, right? Uh, let's see what we got. Why is that doing that? Okay. Although the funds transfer agents will maintain the official record share of ownership, the ownership will be recorded on the blockchain transactions blockchain and authenticated by computers on the network, which is the nodes that receive, propagate, verify, and execute transactions. The process of authenticating the transaction before it is recorded ensures that only valid and authorized transactions are permanently recorded on the blockchain. However, in the event of conflict between the blockchain record and the record held by the transfer agent, the transfer agent's record will be determinative as discrepancy between the blockchain record and the official record of share ownership could result in a delay of processing of purchase and redemption order. The use of the distributed ledger technology is untested for mutual funds. So stating this, it's untested. This was back in 2019, but they up and running now, right? As this was changed. And then they talk about taxes. Yeah, there's definitely going to be all this that will come into that stuff, right? And they just go into more stuff, and so they was right. So they see they even mention it again so many times. It's the same thing, but they come again and then they say because I've read this, this part is played over again with the Stellar network. Right, let's see this. Users of the Stellar network must pay transaction fees in the form of Stellar Lumens, the native digital asset for the operation of Stellar to the Stellar network in order to validate a transaction. Such transaction fees are intended to protect the Stellar ledger from frivolous or malicious computational tasks. These transaction fees will be responsible will be the responsibility of the investment manager or its affiliates or a third party. Alright, so in the stock stuff, and let's see what they say. Let's see if we have to. Right, so there, upon the creation on the account through the app, there is an app. What is the app? And I don't think there is lobster on this. Eventually, I think they will be coming on there. Maybe, I don't know. They have stated that they have their own app, and I will share that what app that is. Right, a blockchain wallet and a corresponding public and private key pair will be created for each investor. A pair consists of public key and its corresponding private key, both which are linked in unique codes. Right, something you guys already know. That's yeah, right. So management, just some other stuff. But you can see there's a lot in this document, and this is coming from the White House. And the White House, if you see the document for the White House, what you're gonna take this document that I'm presenting that's coming out the White House, and you can see there's the actual. If you're gonna go punch all this in, you can type this in and see it for yourself. Because I ain't doing this whole BS stuff with you guys, because there's shady shit that's going on. But when this is a document coming out of the government, right, straight out of Washington D.C. So when I'm telling you this is where the stocks are, right? So they say Franklin Templeton includes all of the U.S. registered mutual funds of Franklin Templeton. They do not include the mutual funds in the Franklin Templeton Variable Charles Product Trust. Alright, so that's what's going on. As they mentioned, buying shares. The app is available. Google Store opening an account. Yes, you have to do KYC. You cannot buy stocks and securities without doing KYC. And then you have to, like how you would do for your exchange, once you have linked your bank account to the app, you will buy additional shares of funds at any time. What's interesting as well is I think they'll probably have MoneyGram coming onto this app as well when it goes live. Privileges via the app. You will able to obtain view your account information and contact options by the app. Buy or sell fund shares using electronic funds to buy, sell fund shares, change your address or change account services, include banking with the respect automatic investment plans and requesting paper copies. Right, so yeah, I know these people that's gonna ask, isn't the stock market about a crash? Yes, that's gonna happen. But the thing is, this is where things are gonna be. Even when it crashes and goes down, you're gonna still be able to buy uh, stocks on here instead of going to those old traditional markets. This is the better way to be going about it, right? So yeah, selling shares, if you can generate a request to sell 100,000 or less can be made by the app. Okay, however, to protect you and the fund, we will need written instructions signed by all registered owners with signature guarantee for each owner. You are selling more than 100 worth of shares. You want your proceeds paid to someone who is not a registered owner. Right, okay, I don't need to go through that so much. I will drop a link in the description so you guys can go through it as well, because this is a lot to go into. It is freaking crazy. Damn crazy, right? Uh and probably there might be people, I'm showing you this document, but if there's people trying to push an agenda, they'll probably try to report this video. So if you could, I mean, this video might get reported. So normally I don't ask guys to like shit, but just for the sake of you know this not being taken down, and to just show the exposure, I do appreciate the like. Normally I don't ask people for the likes and stuff. That's not me, because I don't care really much about uh, likes and stuff like that. As long as you can take this information and run with it, but for the sake of it not being reported by the so-called people that will try and still try further the agenda, might try and report this. So yeah, just hit that like button so that doesn't happen. Right, so we covered that, and then I'm gonna go into this one where they also, talk about the Stellar network again. Same, but it's the Franklin Templeton. Yeah, and shout out to Sam Connor one for that. Right, and we talk about that we are, and I'm gonna get straight into the app. What the app is called, because the app was on here, and so it's similar to traditional record systems. Fund shareholder records in the blockchain integrated systems are full and complete for the fund transfers. So I'm gonna get into this performance. Where is it now? Oh, I don't have myself set on the page. Uh, yeah, yeah. You can pause this and see this. There's a lot going on here that comes back to Stellar, right? So I'm gonna check that out. Yeah, I'll drop the link in for this as well in the description. I just can't seem to find where it stayed on, because I want to just show you something without doing that. So just give me a moment. I'm gonna find this stuff right now. I just know where to ski it. Oh yeah, there's through the app. I just found it, and then that app. Yeah, purchase sales. In order to open an account with the fund, you must first download Benji. Yeah, guys, in this video, you can skip through what I've said there. Just come straight into that's right, Benji by Franklin Templeton. Right, so that's the app, and let's go straight into this app. This is what the app looks like. This is the app store. You can get it anywhere else. As it says, this app is only available for the App Store iPhone. Yeah, I didn't see this on I didn't see it on the Android store, because I use Android. I haven't seen that. So they tell you gateway to digital browse, tokenized securities, and cryptocurrencies. And this runs on the Stellar network, which is Binance Investments. This is a wallet, right? So also you can have your XLM, do your purchases with XLM and stuff like that. That's what's going on here. Right, so pretty much that I've only found out about this week. I've known about another one, and I'm gonna go into that one. And just to be clear, Binance is offered and operated by Franklin Distributors LLC, part of the Franklin Templeton Global Asset Management Organization. All investments involve risk, including loss. We have to say that just because obviously there is your policies and terms and agreements, right? So they've covered themselves there. Yeah, but there is, you can see under funds, you will see when you go into the app. I don't have the app because I don't use an iPhone apparently, so I'm gonna need another form to get this app. Probably sign on, right? So yeah, that's pretty cool there, and even Coinbase just covered this up as well. So they talked about multi-million dollar company plans to use Stellar blockchain for new fund. Alright, so that's one. So you have Temple Franklin, and then we have think I've covered here. This is, oh yeah, before I get into that, how did I forget this? Transamerica is replacing Franklin with BlackRock. So now you're gonna have BlackRock coming to Franklin Templeton, and then this is where the changes happened. This was 24th June 2021. As you see, that article that I showed you was 2019. There was change, and now you're seeing our friendly neighbors come on. So yeah, they're coming on to take over this. And you know what's been going on here. So now Franklin Templeton announced it would merge in multi-asset solution group with QS. Now, to be clear, this has nothing to do with the quantum stellar assets .ai stuff or QSI or any of that. That is not that. It has nothing to do with that whatsoever. Right? These are just called QS investors, and it has nothing whatsoever to do with that. Right? So because this is running off a Benji app. It's nothing to do with Lobster whatsoever. Eventually, I think these things will migrate at some point. Right? That's just my opinion on that migration. And so yeah, just covering up that our friendly friends. I'll drop a link in this below. For time's sake, right? And then this is the one that is now on Lobster, right? And the stocks ain't cheap as well. So let's get through this article, right? Stellar Development Foundation. Stellar Development announces the closing of strategic investment in DSTQ Group AG. This article was Feb 26, 2020. You can see just before something kicked in, the something that kicked in, this was pushed out. So obviously this was not really seen because that something impacted the world in such a way that this article actually went under the rug, to say, right? So yeah, so if you know what I mean by something, it's 2 years gone by, so you probably would know what I'm talking about, right? So with that being said, the investment of 715K paid in Lumens. Right. So paid in Lumen is the first made by SDF through their new enterprise fund. Now SDF is still a development foundation. You had the new Dixon who has a background and she comes from Yahoo Finance. So it's very interesting when you see them invest into this. This ain't no joke. They definitely gonna have something coming up, and we're gonna have some stuff coming up in the next 2 weeks with MoneyGram and stuff like that. Right, so a Liechtenstein-based fintech company helps make investing accessible and affordable for people in emerging markets through Modulus digital interface for security tokens. Right, for security tokens built on the Stellar network, a global decentralized open source blockchain through DSTQ interface. Users have access to blue chip shares such as Tesla or Amazon, as well as bond indices and commodities using fiat or cryptocurrencies. DSTQ's first market will be in Vietnam, followed by South Africa and other African, South American, and Asian developing countries. DSTQ users require only a smartphone to access global funds, which thanks to stellar infrastructure layer, which makes the entire process not only more accessible but also more efficient. Right, so if you type in DSTOQ on Lobster, you will see the stocks pickup, which is actual stocks. And if you want to do that, please, I advise if you're going to go into the stock stuff at this pivotal time, that you read the charts properly and check stuff, because it's like so uncertain what's going to happen there. Right? Not uncertain. We know that stock market is going to crash, and then it's going to eventually will pick up at some point after this whole change in the new financial system. So just be cautious on these ones very well, because I think some of these stocks are like 700 XLM, 800 XLM. I think the cheapest stock is close to like 400 XLM, which is like $100, right? So it's not like where you're gonna throw in like a couple cents and then these ones are gonna blow up. But just do your homework on them, and I will leave it below. And you can use discernment and do your own research on that as well, and make up decisions on how you're gonna go about doing that, right? So that's all I wanted to say on the DSTQ stuff. That's also another solid market for the stocks that's going on XLM, right? So anything to do with what people are selling in there, just don't pay, because I just showed you what the White House is doing and stuff like that. BlackRock's taking over there. Look, and then it also offers stock to your customers directly via our API. So they have APIs that will then push out stuff. I know they have their own app. It looks like they have their own app that's going to run on the Stellar network as well. So, but the thing is, they do have the API is linked to Stellar network, and then that API does push data and they actually have their licensed stocks on the Stellar network. And I think I'll put a video that there was a dude that Stellar Lumens man talked about that. I'll drop a video in there as well. But before I get into that, I just want to leave this clip where they do explain of DSTQ.
We wanted speed, we wanted low transaction costs, and we wanted to enable users to trade peer-to-peer on a global basis. And we found the Stellar blockchain which provided all of those things. DSTQ is based in Liechtenstein. Liechtenstein is a very beautiful country. It's in the mountains. You've got a river and there's a castle. It's very innovative towards capital markets and blockchain in particular. And it is a fantastic place to do business. At DSTQ, we have a range of products. We have a DeFi app that is making investing easy for people in emerging markets. Users can get access to investing directly from their phone. We also have an API that businesses can use to integrate with if they want to help their users getting access to investing. And if they want to abstract away a lot of the complexity of investing and just have a simple way to offer new products to their existing user bases. Historically, if we look at investing, most wealth generation that's happened in the last 100 years has been from people buying shares of companies. And for people in emerging markets, they might not have the same types of opportunities that someone in, say, America does when it comes to growing their wealth.
You have to externalize your funds, and then you have to go through an external broker, and those brokers usually have high minimums, high fixed fees, and they only make the investments viable at a much larger scale. So not really for retail investors like myself.
We built our app with first-time investors in mind. And for them, it's very important to have a good user experience, for things to be as simple as possible and as fast as possible. How it works is we buy shares in Europe. We then tokenize them on the Stellar blockchain. Those tokens are then able to be traded directly on the Stellar DEX, which is a decentralized exchange. It's something that doesn't really exist in a lot of other networks. On the DEX, users can post offers for buying and selling of assets, and those offers are floating around the whole world, and they can be matched at any point in time, 24/7, at very low fees and very efficiently. We are seeing a lot of demand coming in for our app from emerging markets, where we reached around 25,000 downloads in the first quarter, and we have about 10,000 monthly active users. We're also seeing 100% month-on-month growth in the average account size of the users on the platform, on the app.
DSTQ has enabled me to invest in international companies, which I could never do before. And now I'm also investing or buying small stocks, which I could never do before until now. The investing is going to get me to where I want to be. It's going to get me to a greater career. It's going to put me in a position where I get to work on my own time and choose what I want to do in life.
DSTQ plans on continuing to grow on Stellar by focusing on making our services and our products available in as many countries as we can, as well as onboarding as many meaningful B2B partners that already have large existing customer bases. Through both of those motions, we aim to grow our business in a very meaningful way that is improving financial inclusion across the world.
Right, so you see that's what's going on with DSTQ. Right, so that's where we end off. And then we have Virtual XRP at 38 cents, which is, I think, is a good steal right now. Cardano 47 cents. I think there's some, I know Cardano has some weird stuff going on, but I think there's going to be something interesting that comes up from it. Polkadot's at $9, 9.90. And then let's get to our XLM still, which is at 12 cents. Right, so yeah, some good deals there. And yeah, you can check these apps out. Alright, so without further ado, I will catch you guys in the next one. Cheers.